Hey guys, welcome back to Theme Park Theories, and in today's video we're going to be talking about a very controversial theme park issue, which is the issue of theme park IPs. Now, this issue has kind of been known for a good while now, especially since Disney really started switching to just using strictly IPs for their attractions. But in today's video, we're not going to be talking about just Disney. We're going to be talking about a whole different other theme park chains that use IPs for their attractions and how to do it right and how to do it wrong. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with how to do an IP attraction wrong. And well, speaking of which, we actually have one of the examples right here, which is the Incredicoaster at Disneyland and California Adventure. So this attraction used to be California Screamin', I believe is what the name was called, which was a coaster kind of themed to being a wooden roller coaster on a pier, kind of old school style, until they switched it up to be more themed to the Incredibles. Now, a lot of people have mixed feelings about this attraction. They think it's, kind of charming, kind of cute, has the incredible characters in it, whatever. Me personally, I'm not the biggest fan of it. I think it's honestly a really forced theming onto it. They literally just took a already pre-existing roller coaster that has this theme of like a wooden roller coaster, and they just slapped the Incredibles colors on there and some characters and some onboard audio, which everybody loves onboard audio. However, I just do think like it doesn't mix well at all with this type of coaster, especially since Incredibles is a more, I guess, Pixar, family sort of film, and California Screaming is definitely more like a, I guess, thrill seeker attraction as far as Disney level goes. But I just like I said, I think it's a very forced theming, and even though it's not the worst in the world, it's definitely not the best either. Another example we have here is Six Flags Fiesta Texas, one of the many Batman attractions. So basically, this is a Batman roller coaster, like Minnie. However, this one's very, I guess, unique as far as the Batman coasters go because it's not a clone. However, it is a sort of one-of-a-kind attraction. I can't really remember exactly what they call these, but basically, this is just yet another, Batman roller coaster style thing where they just take a roller coaster and they just throw the colors of like a certain character on it with their logo, and that's literally what they just did with this one. I get this was kind of before Fiesta Texas started really putting theming into their attractions, but it could still be used as a really bad IP example because, well, it is. I mean, this is probably one of the most laziest things I've ever seen from any theme park ever. Even the Superman roller coaster, right next door to it, at least has Superman on the coaster itself, which is pretty cool. This one literally has nothing, so I don't know, it's definitely one of the laziest. However, later in this video I do show an example of a good IP from this exact same theme park, so it's kind of cool to see how they, did improve over time. Okay, now this one I feel like I'm really going to regret talking about because I feel like a lot of you are going to have, very mixed opinions on this one. But Spider-Man Web Slingers is definitely on this list for what I think is one of the worst IP attractions ever done. Now, I guess you can make the same argument for Universal and some of their simulator attractions, but for this being Disney, the company that's, kind of best known for making really good IPs, this is definitely a step down. Basically, if you don't know what this is a video game attraction that, in my opinion, is just made to make money. Honestly, you go and you ride this attraction and you buy something at the gift shop to make you better at the attraction. Like, you literally level yourself up for the attraction. It's honestly, it makes me really mad just to even think about this ride. It's really not Disney quality. But why is it exactly considered a bad IP, in my opinion at least? It's just because all it is a bunch of screens, It's not exactly what I would consider to be a good IP. Whenever I think of a good IP attraction, which we're about to get into right after this, I think of something that really like puts you in the true environment of that movie or story that they want you to be in, and this I feel like just really doesn't do that. The only physical set pieces we get are like a subway sort of station, like New York kind of vibes kind of thing going on here, but it really isn't all that, honestly. Overall, this ride is just kind of an abomination in my opinion. It's not the worst, but it's definitely not the best whenever it comes to IPs, especially with Disney. And now on to some of the best IP themed attractions. Sticking in with our little Disney company here, my favorite attraction of all time, the holy grail of just IP themed attractions, the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror over in Disney's Hollywood Studios in Orlando, Florida. Now, ironically enough, the IP in this attraction isn't actually Disney IP, but it is still technically some form of a, property that they used for the theme, so I'm going to consider it, and that theming would be the Twilight Zone from, CBS, a very old classic TV show kind of based on supernatural things. If you don't know what this attraction is, I don't even know what you're doing watching this video, to be honest. This is one of the best theme park attractions of all time, and it's super famous just all around the world, basically. They've even built multiple versions of the tower, just basically in almost every other Disney park. Okay, now that I'm done ranting about the tower, basically this, without a doubt, is such a well done attraction. It kind of goes back to what I said a little bit earlier, how whenever I think of a good IP attraction, I think of a ride that really makes you immersed in the story that you're in. You feel like you're actually in this place. Tower of Terror does exactly that on a whole other level. You really do feel like, just from like the sight of the tower, that you really are walking up to this hotel, and as soon as you walk in it, it just has this like ambiance to it, and it's just incredible, totally, unlike anything else, really. And even though a good bit of this ride's story, is a original story made by Disney, they do still, in my opinion at least, use a Twilight Zone element really well. They incorporate like the theme song to it. They have an impersonator of Rod Serling. They edit a video with Rod Serling to make it look like this is like a lost episode of the Twilight Zone, decades after he died. It's just really, really well put together with the whole Twilight Zone element, to the point where it really does make you feel like you're in the Twilight Zone. Not to mention the fact that you literally go through the fifth dimension, which is like the main part of the Twilight Zone TV show. He's always talking about that in the TV show, and they actually put you in it. It's just incredible overall how they're able to mix an original idea that they came up with in with the Twilight Zone theming. Just brilliantly done. I'll probably have to do, 2 more videos just on the Tower of Terror alone, but this is definitely one of the best IP attractions in existence. And now going back to our good old friend Six Flags Fiesta Texas, I have picked Joker Carnival of Chaos as one of the better IP based attractions from Six Flags. Now, Six Flags is mostly IP based attractions, especially with properties like DC and Looney Tunes. So this one in particular, in my opinion, is probably the best DC attraction I've ever seen, besides, some of the Justice League ones that are honestly kind of mediocre at best. This one is really, really cool, though. The ride itself is okay, but what makes this one really just different is the queue line. You actually have to walk into this actual funhouse, and inside of the funhouse actually has different hallways and rooms themed to different DC villains, specifically Batman villains, but still, it's really, really cool. I believe there's a hallway like on the Joker, Harley Quinn, Mr. Freeze, Riddler, and they're all so well done. There's like so many good lighting effects and sounds, and even some animatronics in there, and it really does, again, make you feel really immersed in this, villain kind of like experience with DC. Very, very cool. I hope Six Flags continues to do this kind of stuff, especially in Fiesta Texas, since that's my home park. And, again, just an incredible queue line. Even if the ride itself isn't, that heavily themed, this is still an incredible queue line. Okay, so we've been talking about IP-based attractions for a while now, so I kind of want to take a little break on that, and I just want to, have this last minute sort of mention on a really, really good IP-based land. Now, we've seen these multiple times, especially in theme parks, like Universal Studios, where basically the entire theme park is nothing but IP-based lands. However, we are starting to see it in Disney a little bit more with Galaxy's Edge, Toy Story Land, and Pandora. However, my favorite out of even all of Disney's newer ones is still anything related to Harry Potter and Universal. Universal does such a good job on all of their Harry Potter related things, especially over in Islands of Adventure. I think that's honestly, just the best, land over there in general. Just everything is so immersive. Like, you actually feel like you're in a Harry Potter movie. I honestly, if you haven't been to Universal, me talking won't do this land justice on how good it is. But as soon as you walk into the town, you just look around and it's like you're just completely taken out of the real world and put into the Harry Potter film itself. It is insane. Everything from like just the music and just the smells that you get there, and even like the little knickknacks in the windows that would like move whenever the kids would do their wand, and even like the dragon breathing fire. Just it's so incredible to even just think about it. I wish I was there right now, to be honest. Just definitely the best IP based land in existence, in my opinion. And what's even better is that this really, really good theming carries onto the rides as well. I do feel like with Disney, Pandora, even though the theming with that is really, really good on the outside, it kind of doesn't really match the same quality level like Navi River Adventure, or whatever the ride's called, over in Animal Kingdom, like it does quite well with Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey, or Escape from Gringotts, and especially Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure. All three of these attractions are just completely stunning, and this is how you know an IP attraction is good. If you're willing to wait in like a 2 hour line for this attraction and be entertained the entire time by just looking around at the environment you're in, that's how you know you really have a good IP based attraction. Whenever the entire time you can make your guests just very entertained, even if it is like a 2 hour line, which over there in Florida, and just some of those bigger theme parks, you definitely will have to wait in some big lines, especially for the e-ticket attractions, especially IP attractions. And I think Universal has definitely captured that feeling with anything related to Harry Potter, like I said. So even though Tower of Terror might be my personal favorite and what I think might be the best IP-based attraction in general, Universal is definitely the master at making an entire IP-based land, which if anything is honestly a bit more impressive because they're able to maintain that experience throughout the entire land in multiple theme parks too. There's a Harry Potter Land, Islands of Adventure, Universal Studios, and now Epic Universe, and I'm sure it'll have the same amount of quality and immersiveness that these other two parks have. So as I'm ending off the video, I do want to have a final statement that I don't think IP-based attractions are a terrible thing. A lot of them are really, really cool. They put the guest in an experience that they're in, like their favorite movie or something, or favorite franchise, whatever you want it to be, really. And it can be a really cool thing. However, I do think if you have the opportunity to do an IP-based attraction, make it good. Don't just slap colors of a character on there and their logo and call it a day, Six Flags, but, actually make it, worth something like Universal and Disney does. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Please tell me down in the comments below, what is your favorite IP-based attraction, and what IPs do you want to see certain companies do? Anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.